Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're making the book page side tuck pocket. Okay, usually you can put them right over here on the side, and your pocket, it could be flush. I've got it to where I can't get down into this part. But other than that, you can also glue them top and bottom and have them as a belly band and have it positioned just like this. Or you can glue the whole thing over here to the edge and only do a C glue on it, and you can tuck something under it that way and have something under it this way. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so I am going to put this to the side, and I'm going to show you how you do your paper, your book page. It's one of those that's 9 by 6. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to have to cut this one down just a little bit to 8, just so it's reasonable. But what you want to do is cut any kind of rippy edges off. So I'm going to do that real quick. Voila. Okay. Now what you want to do is cut it down to the 8. I forgot to do that while I was over there. Okay, you can always keep these little pieces to do stamping on, so don't ever throw them away. I got a little pile over there that I'm going to take one day and do some stamping. Now, what you want to do is fold in just a little bit. This is just to strengthen the edge and to give this edge not such a weak entrance, because depending on which way you do this, you're going to have, something entering in there. So the opposite side that you just did that fold on, you're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Now, I got this idea from scrapbooking with me back in the day, because back in 2020 is when I stopped stopped working, basically. I retired, I'll call it that. And I started doing cards. And then I somehow in that year started watching her scrapbooking with me, Edith, and I was seeing all these great things that she was doing. Okay, I think the way I folded it this time is opposite from what the other one is. So just remember, if you're wanting to put it probably on the left side of your journal page, you want to fold it under the opposite way, if you know what I mean, up back that way. Because the way I've got it here, I think now I've got to go this way with it. So you just kind of fold it over to where this is, it's up to you. If you want it to have a big wide area in here to tuck something under, that leaves less room here. It just depends on how you want to do it. All right, so let me just rub that down real good. And then you're going to come in here with your glue, and you're going to glue just these little flaps that you just created, just to get them out of the way and done and over with. Well, I hope everyone is doing well today. They're happy and healthy and having a good old pre-summer. It's almost here. It's hot, hot, hot here. I live in Virginia. It's hot. Oh, we're in the Shenandoah Valley, so we usually have the cool and the nice, and I don't know. It took a while to get here, but we still have rain almost all the time. My phone is forever telling me it's going to have a thunderstorm or showers or something along those lines in the evening. Ah, jolly, jolly. But I guess it's good. It keeps everything green. That's part of being in the Shenandoah Valley. Well, I was trying to think of a story. I hadn't told you a nice little story in a while. So I have a little bit I was going to tell you about my Aunt Elizabeth. She was my dad's oldest sister. I think she's born in 1911. And she was born on Stone Coal, where I'm always going over to research and stuff. And so I just found those areas when I went over this last trip. I was so excited to kind of learn where they lived, because I'd been wondering for the longest time. And anyhow, she was about, I guess, 16. She was good friends with a lady when I first started doing my genealogy. her name was Ruth Kazee. And I went over and stayed with her in like 1990, 91, and 92. And then the poor thing, she got real sick and passed away. She was a schoolmate of Aunt Elizabeth. She was born about that time. And Ruth said that Aunt Elizabeth was so smart. Well, she was always smart. And to this day, we always thought the world of her. But she had a bad thing happen to her. I guess she got sweet talked by this Kurt Kazee. I'm just using some of these scraps that I cut off from some project I just used. Probably you've seen it. I can't remember what it is at the moment. But I'm going to put one under here and leave a little frame of book page. And then I'm going to put one on this here. So she got sweet talked by him. And then she got pregnant. And she was the apple of my grandpa's eye. I mean, he thought the world of her. I guess he had like high hopes that, she'd go far with her schooling and stuff like that. And then she meets Kurt. And I don't know if it's a combination of, letting her father down and all the stress and everything or what. But she, I don't know, she just kind of had to put up with him. And I think Kurt was abusive. Now, needless to say, this is the same Kurt Kazee that later marries Ruth. But they were never in love. She said he just married her so she could get access to his, I guess he was a coal miner or something. So she could get his Social Security benefits and stuff. And she was to take care of him. That's how it worked. Well, I've got a clog or something going on here that just is not cooperating with me. So anyhow, I don't think I ever asked. I should have asked questions and things like that. Well, all right, finally, I got somewhere. Everything else done dried up. So anyhow, yeah, so I really didn't ask too much about him at that time. You know how I am. I don't remember to ask anything when I should. I wait until after the time period. Oh, goodness. But, yeah. They were together for a while, had 4 children. He became really abusive and everything, and so it kind of affected her mind a little bit, and she actually started living with her mother, but at one point before that, she goes and they lived in Baltimore or around Baltimore, Maryland, and she supposedly, and we've never found it, my cousin that lived up there, she finally moved to Pennsylvania, looked for this marriage. I went up there one time and we looked for the marriage. Never could find it, but she claims that she married, what is going on? She married a Mates, and his name is Maetz. And so that is what's on her, death certificate. It's on her tombstone. It's all over everything that's hers because she claims she married him. So that was like always the biggest mystery for us to try to figure out. And we actually, I couldn't find the marriage. They said it could be in another county or something along those lines. And so I didn't know. I tried 3 or 4 counties and didn't have any luck that way. So I just kind of finally gave up on trying to find this marriage. But that was one of the things I was wanting to do. I call myself a census taker kind of genealogist. I like to tick and have all the kids, all the dates, everything, adding up that kind of stuff. That's that's the kind of genealogist I consider myself. I don't think that's an official term, but I come around thinking, well, that's what I need to call myself because that's what I like to collect. All the statistics, I guess you would call them. All right, let's see if this is right on the money. I got a little hint on this one end, and I think she's good. So yes, so I would love to have had that marriage. But there was actually, I met with their daughter, Dell or Delphi, and she remembers like the farm and everything that they lived on. He grew cucumbers. And he had a pickle, I call it a pickle farm, but I guess it was a cucumber farm. But he grew cucumbers and he did pickles. He was a German guy. And so he had all these big vats around there, you know, where he had his pickles and brine and that kind of stuff. So, all right. In the meantime, I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to measure it so it's going to go on here. I know I want the statue, not statue, the Eiffel Tower to kind of straddle over. That's why we didn't want to glue that, because we're going to want to try to piece it together and get it under there. So anyhow, he had this huge farm, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it this way because it's too big to do the other way. And the girls remembered all of the big barrels that he would have, and he had like acres of cucumbers out in the field. And I you know, I thought, you know, I got to find this marriage. I got to. I said, everybody remembers him. They lived together. And what I found out though, I said, well, I got a back door I'm going to try. So I went and I found his death certificate. And I forget when he died, in the 50s or something, 60s. Yeah, I think it was 60s. So he passed then. And what happened was he listed himself as a widower. Well, my Aunt Elizabeth was still alive. So I didn't understand why he's listing himself as a widower. So what I figured out, and you know I went on the wrong side for this guy, but I think I can go right there. I want Paris on this piece over here. So let's cut it right there. So he was married before because he had a son, Herman. And he had a previous wife. So I looked into that, and he was married before. And from what my understanding is, did not marry my aunt at all. I don't know what I'm going to put on this bottom side down here. Maybe some of this. Okay. So yeah, I found it out. It was not anything legit. I guess it was considered a common law. I can't understand how she was able to get away with all of her documentary stuff being that she was a maid's. That's the part that gets me. It just oh, but you know, I guess back then things were, you know, you could kind of hide them around. Maybe maybe that's how you could do it. So I thought that was quite interesting. I'm still having issues with this thing. What is going on? Usually when you can, I might have to take the cap off. If this doesn't work, I'll take the cap off and give it a good rub down. It's coming out now. I filled it up the other day, and I thought that would take care of everything. Okay, so onward and upward here. I got that piece on. I'm going to put this one under here, and then it's going to come down like that, see? And that's going to look pretty good, I think. And then we'll try to camouflage the bottom with a little bit of this piece that I cut off over here. You know what? I took this cap. This glue bottle's getting on my nerves. Might have to have a talk with it. Okay, right there. Let's make sure I'm pretty much on the money. That's close enough. Rub this down. I wish the broochier thing showed a little better, but that's all right. I've got a rose. All right, this is the part I'm wondering about putting down here, because it's got, you know, it's got those dots and things on it there. So let's do that. Let's put this piece down here. And you can see how I'm going and trying to make like a little drop shadow on all the different pieces here. All right. Let me see if I can figure out where my mark was. And this one. Okay. Let's see what we got. I got a big old bullfrog out there, and he's forever bellowing. If you go out there, you never see him. But he's yelling night and day. Night and day. We have the window open usually for the kitties to look out during the night. And that frog is just taking off with these noises. All right. I think that little piece right there will do. How would I like to do this? Maybe that way. I got a darker piece there. All right. Okay, we got both of our panels covered, and now what we want to do is just glue it shut. And you just take the piece here that flaps over and draw you a little bead of glue, and then you put it down. Now this one is pretty busy. I have a lot of movement and things going on it, so I don't know that I'm going to do anything else to it. I probably need to add a little bit more glue. It's not sticky. I think I gotta do the other side. I should have done the new book page. It glues better. There we go. I'm seeing all these memories coming up on my Facebook page for when I was out there and I showed my garden and everything. And it looks so good. Back in the day, it really looked good. Now this would make a pretty little bookmark if you wanted to make it into that. But I'm going to take all these little snips right here and put it in my purple bag. Okay, with this digital, there was a thing of labels. So I'm going to work on that with some vintage photo. I had to look up what these were. They're by Lynn Art Studio on Etsy, and they're vintage roses pages. But they had one with a bike and one with a lady looking at her hose or something. And then there was another one that had a few other pretty images. One was a big floral image, kind of like that. But I thought that matched the Eiffel Tower color, so I thought the vintage photo would go really well here. And I lined it with just a piece of paper that I had some lines on, so you could get in here and be able to write on it real easy. Now we're going to make a second one, and it's going to be in the other direction, of course, but I'm going to use a scrapbook page for it. So you can see it's versatile. You can use anything. You can go with the digital like this, or you can go with a scrapbook page. Now that's the way it should be. You should be able to have access to the whole page there. And I'll show you how these will go in your book you know, in different ways besides the one I have over there. So we went ahead and we glued this, and as you can see, it's the opposite opening direction. And the book that I chose is, of course, the Ephemera one by the Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. And I forget which one. Which one was it? There was a particular one I was thinking I was going to use. I think it had the lady on it. That one. Because it had a butterfly and a lady. I had printed this out just in case, because this was the little girl that was on the other one we saw. But it had this cute little image and that little girl with a book. And I don't know that I'm going to actually use that, though. We'll see what we got here. The image that I'm wanting is... oh, right here. This lady. And can I get it? Yeah, like that. I guess you can kind of see it. But I was laying it on here like this. And we're going to do the same situation. Now, her little table, some of it's going to go missing. But she is mostly going to be on this page. And there's a butterfly up above. Because I've already cut this off at 8 inches. Is it 8? Yeah. Just a hair over 8. So I got the butterfly in here and her. And both of these, this one's just a little taller. It's not much, but just a little bit. So I'm going to take this one out. And I've got some washi tape that I'm thinking to use with this. It's got a little gold dot and a pink background. And it's just from Walmart. It's in the craft department. And can't remember how much it was, but there's a good bit on it. And I've got a one with a honeycomb on it and a couple of solid pieces. So you have a big variety to choose from there. And I'm trying to get all the paper off. Of course I can't. Not when I'm on film. Oh, goodness. Well, you will probably have already known, but I have decided to take Sundays off. And maybe a Saturday or two. I just don't know. There's nothing at the shop, people. There is stuff, but it's just boring colors. There's nothing bright and cheery or summery or anything along those lines. And I really, really got to get in there and get something made because, and if you haven't went and looked at my steampunk journal, it's gone. It's sold. It's sold in a day. I cannot believe how fast that thing went. And I so appreciate you, Allison, for buying it. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like everything that's in it. Let me know. All right. I got that cut out. Now I got to figure out where I want to cut it on here. And I want to give it a little bit of space around there. I want to be able to see that it is book page, although I am going to put some washi on it, so that may be a gone situation. But the top one here is the one I want to measure by, because I can always tuck the lower one underneath. And I wanted to make sure that's not going to cut her head off. Wait a minute, let me check. Whew, that's close. All right. I think we need to go over a little bit with this, like right here. All right, I'm going to measure it right there and cut that instead. I wanted her head in here. Let's see. Yeah, because I've got area over here. I'll lose a little bit of wing, but that's all right. Better that than her head. But I have a 2,000 subscriber journal I got to get to working on and figuring out. And then I have, I can't remember what else. I need to fill the shop, like I said. It's just, it's starting to stack up on me. I hadn't been making anything for the shop because nothing was going. Nothing was moving. So I was thinking, yeah, they just have to buy what's there, I guess. And boy, they grabbed everything that was spring-like, except for this one little bunch that was hiding. I found that when I was there the other day. But I got to go at the end of the month and do an inventory and that kind of thing, and see what all's there. Now, I got to take this little lady, her little, yeah, I think that's going to show. I didn't want that to tuck under, if you know what I mean. I don't want to tuck under here because it'll hide her hand. I want it to look like a continuous piece. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of this scorched timber on this one. Get that out of my way. So I don't chop a finger off. Yeah, so I want to bring this over. We're going to do scorched timber. And, oh, great. Great. And go around the outside edge of all these. Yeah, because I want it to have an old, crispy, crispy edged look. I'm getting rid of the white core. Yeah, that kind of thing. So who all of you is going to make one of these? They're not too hard to do. You can make them any size you want, any height. Doesn't have to be as tall as what I'm making for a whole page. Yeah, both of mine are kind of Victorian, I guess you could say. Although the one could go for travel. I just had the two I was going to make because I got to get on to making some book covers and stuff like that today to try to get ahead. And I've got plenty of ephemera. I've been making ephemera since the 1st of January. So, yeah, I should be good there and have plenty to give away and put in the journals, I mean. All right, that's that. Okay. I want to put my pink. Okay, let's go in circles. Ring around the rosy. There we go. So we're going to put that here just to kind of, I like to cover up that E because that's part of the title that was on this page. But we're just going to go down here like this. Hopefully it's going to be about the even, well, it doesn't matter. It's going to get covered up. That's right. All right. And it's also going to strengthen it in case this is one that you're going to make into a belly band or something along those lines. That's when you might want to get in here and put you some washi. That also helps out. Then I'm going to also do this edge so it's on each side. There we go. Rip that off, fold it under. Oop. That's also going to strengthen whatever gets put in and out of this little pocket. And it's pretty sticky, so I didn't even have to put any glue or anything on it. So let's get that. And this. I'm hoping our Race to Survival, I hope that's on tonight. I can't remember if it's tonight or tomorrow. All right. Let's go ahead and put this little guy right here. And does it look odd that it doesn't have pink washi on it? It does. All right. We're going to add some more. We want it to look uniform. And I got some washi to get rid of. That's another one of my use it up yesterday. If you haven't noticed, some of these things, I haven't got enough of it here that I'm working with, but I usually will put it on there that it's a hashtag use it up yesterday. That means I'm trying to use stuff up that I've had on my work surface or my shelves for like ages. And I should have got rid of it yesterday. That's what the concept of the title means. So, I thought I would let you know. So, whenever you see that, you know it's me trying to stash bust or whatever the rest of them call it. I thought I'd come up with my own hashtag. Be creative, you know. I had a lot of people comment, I think it was on my last video, well, it was a video about 5 back for you about me mentioning, you know, how technology and everything has changed so much and our lifespan, and remembering like party lines and all that kind of stuff. I had a lot of people that really, it resonated with them. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue this part because we're done with everything on here. There goes that frog again. I hope he didn't call in a bunch of his harem and fill up my pond with a bunch of tadpoles. They've done that before. They have done that before. Naughty little guys. Ugh. All right. And these aren't the little tiny frogs either. I mean, little tadpoles. These are those big honking guys as big as your thumb or bigger. They're big. I'm a little off on my count here, so let's just go down there like that. All right. Now I have to get... Oop. Now I wanted to see book page, and then I took that back, didn't I? Because you really can't see it now. That's okay. I can see a little bit of writing at the bottom down here, but I think that's pretty. I like how that turned out. Now you can get more in depth on what you want to decorate with here. You can add die cuts to it. You can add more words to it. I really don't have any words on this one. That one has Paris on it, and I like that. I'm good with that. What is the world? See if I can squeeze that out, whatever it is. Put some pressure behind it. Oh, God. It's driving me batty. Oh. If I can just get it on the outside. Oh, there it's going. Let me go. Ooh, a race. It's a race. All right, I got it. Oh. Let's see. I need to move her over. About right there. Yep. Oh. She's sliding. All right, there it goes. I think that's a good spot. Now, I got to get me something to put it in so you can see what it's going to look like. Get everything out of the way. I really think that one turned out pretty. Let me show that to you close up. Also, I got some things to show you from the last video. And I made a few extras, and one of them I didn't hold up very well for you. But here's what this one turned out to look like. It could use a word. I won't lie. It could. Maybe I'll use vintage or something on it. I'll go over here and look. But that's about what it turned out like. It was just one piece, little corner of a scrapbook page. And that's all you needed. And little washi. And then this one was a little digital. It wasn't a very big one. With a digital tag that went with it that I had to make. But I really like how that turned out too. You can almost see the extension of the leg there. I like that look. I did something else with that. That's actually what I gave my mom for for her Mother's Day. Okay, since I didn't have a word on this one, I thought I would use one of these. I think Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy sent this to me. And I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to put it on this piece of scrap that I've got that's like craft paper. And we're going to make it the tag. Yeah, she sent that to me a while back. That and the word journal. And I had this tucked into my container over there to work on my Subway journal. And I'm going to keep this deliciousness. I don't know where she got that coffee dyed paper, but that looks good. And then we're going to cut this down a little more here. Try to make both ends even. And this end that I couldn't cut straight. And the top part. I think that's going to do the trick. All right, that I can keep that, but the other two I can't. They're too little. All right. And so we're just going to put it on here like this. That one side is still crooked. That side is definitely crooked. Okay. See if that fixed it. We'll put our... It's going to be the simplest tag in the world. It's just going to say vintage. Nothing else. Ugh. Right in the middle. And I'm just going to put me some corners on it. Cut my corners. It's basically a journal card. It's not a it's not going to be a tag. It's basically a journal card. So you just tuck it in there like that, and there she goes. It doesn't look that great. I wish vintage was sticking out. All right, I'll work on that later. off screen. All right. I was going to show you how this is going to look in a book. So let me get my little Subway journal over here. And okay, here we go. So I need to find a page that it's going to fit on. It would fit on this side's page really well. This one or that one. I got a lady there. I don't want to, some of these pages I don't want to cover up what's there, you know. That one I've got a good bit of this little guy covered. Now this here doesn't have anything. So this would be a good spot for it. Right there. And what you could do is do like a backward C glue. And you got a tuck right there. Then you got the tuck right here that comes out. And you can go ahead and put a like a tab on it if you wanted to give it a dangle. You could do all kinds of stuff. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually put it in the middle, kind of like where I had it, and just glue top and bottom, and you got a belly band and a tuck. So there's a few different ways you can use these. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you my few little guys I got done yesterday. I kept working. Now, I'm gonna breeze through these because I know you've seen these before. We had the photography guys. It's like the first time they were doing pictures. So there's a few. I always tell my stories, you know. Each one's got like a story. And I kind of told you in the previous video. And there's the beautiful ladies. And then here's the jockey guy. My light keeps shining on there, so I apologize for the glare. And then we got the two ladies that like to laugh and go to the gardens. And these were the two new ones. So I had the married couple. You'd seen where I had commitment and embrace and love you. And I had the curtains like they're doing their getting ready to sit up house, in other words. That's what that stands for. I've got like a little thing of champagne here. There's her wedding ring. And I had a few buttons kind of around here. I don't really have a reason for the bee. I just wanted to use him. And then I have always here. But it's got another word after it. But I thought that meant they were always, you know, together. Or always loving each other. All right, there's that one. And here is another lady. She is a fashionista. It has beauty is an attitude over here. And then I thought I would put give attitude. I thought that would work too. Here's her brush. She says, I look pretty for me. There's a B for beauty. I tried to put a ring on her head like it was a tiara, but I'm not too sure that worked right. I've got a little bit of a white edge there. I might go in here with my marker. Yeah, let's do that. Where's my little tiny marker? I got a number 1 that's really tiny. See how tiny that is? That's one of these microns. Let's go in there and see if we can fix that. And just, yeah. Now, I don't know if it exactly looks like a tiara, but I continued that piece to go around her head. And then she's got, I like my money right where I can see it, hanging in my closet. And look at her shoes. And then she's got a thing of perfume over here. It says, glow where you go. Oh my gosh. Okay, and here is the husband and his two daughters. And it says cherished family. And then these two things I wasn't quite sure about. I put them standing on strength because I thought he was the strong man in the family. And I guess that brought me to putting a wrought iron pipe rub on over here. I have one of the little film strips behind it, but it's very hard to see. And then I put good times. So that's how that one turned out. I keep moving it so I can get away from that glare. And these ladies, these are the ones I decorated on film with you, but I don't think I ever held it up. I held up the other ones, but I didn't hold these up. So I wanted you to see how theirs turned out. Like there was like the mirror with the dress form you can see in the background. They have a dress shop that they do alterations and make dresses, and they have fashion. This was a plate, so this was a fashion plate. And then they have style down here with a bunch of buttons. So, oh my goodness. Okay. So I ought to have enough of those. Now definitely that one will have use it up yesterday on it. All right. I really appreciate you coming. I hope you enjoyed what you got to see today. Make up some of these cute little side tucks. You won't regret it. They'll go in any journal and have a lot of usages. All right, all my subscribers and viewers, you know the drill. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.